submission for the level design test for Vicarious Visions. This is a level that will be present, or could be present, should I say, in Skylanders. It is a platforming level to fit along with the game. The idea here is that Hector, the main villain of the game, has used his dark powers to enter the space-time continuum in hopes of utilizing it to manipulate space and time. Upon doing so, however, he has caused the space-time continuum to slowly fall apart and break apart. So you must enter and clear out his minions before the whole place falls apart. Now, obviously, the design document will have a lot more details in it about how the functionality of this level will work, but I'm going to walk you through it because it is a little bit more visual instead of just reading the design document. I wanted to provide this walkthrough. Now, just a real quick note here. All areas that you can walk on and interact with will be white, yellow, or red. The white will be the main walkway here, and the red will be items that you can destroy, treasure chests or enemies, and the yellow items are going to be obstacles that you'll have to avoid or use to jump on top of. So we'll go ahead and start down here. This is the green dots are going to be a representation of the player character. You're going to start here, and you're going to notice right away that the level goes in a very kind of squirrely pattern here. Right off the bat, the player is going to get a good feel for the design of the level. A lot of twists and curves, a lot of clock parts moving around these pendulums and these gears over here. While you can't interact with them, they can be animated. The crystals will be all growing out of places that aren't moving, like static areas. And some of the crystals can be broken, much like barrels in the regular levels of Skylanders. So as you progress along, you'll notice these gears also have directional arrows on them. That's the way that these gears will be rotating. Most of the gears will be rotating at a moderate pace, so it doesn't get the player to go flying off the platform. But this will create a little bit more dissonance in the platforming elements, make it a little bit more difficult to climb. So as you see, we have our player character here kind of progressing along and reaching up to this next part over here. These weights, by the way, will be moving up and down, although you cannot interact with them. You can hit them and fall off, but these will just be here for pretty much aesthetic purposes for now. Okay, so moving along, this next part here, you'll notice some gears off to the side. You can jump off and attack some enemies and gather some resources. You'll also notice these orange crystals here. This is the break-off point for the magic branching, the magic element branching path. We'll get to that here after I finish the main path. I'm going to go ahead and guide you through how this level works. So right here, you're going to notice the main path that this player character is on is going to go ahead and twist around. This changes the gravity, and you'll notice the player character is now upside down. In game, this will not be displayed as an upside down. You're walking upside down. This will be displayed very much right side up. So your map then continues on to show gears progressing in a vertical fashion, and the beginning of the level is now upside down. I chose to implement this element while it might be challenging to pull off from a design aspect or maybe even a coding aspect. I chose this because it's a little unique and provides a breath of fresh air, I believe, to the platforming element of many 3D platformers. Okay, so as you continue along, you'll notice these gears are turning. They're connected. They turn in their respective motions based on what gears are connected to them. Once you're done there, you jump off into this arena area where you'll see the player character is now fighting some enemies up in here. Once the player character has dispatched those enemies, they have to destroy this crystal growth here to progress. And as they progress, you'll notice the player character now is on a platform that is very steep. And as the platform progresses and the player character progresses, so does the change in gravity. You'll notice it twists again and leaves the player character again now facing this way. There will be a large pendulum swinging back and forth here, which you'll have to time your jumps. Behind that, you'll also notice that this gear is going counterclockwise, and the hands, the big hand and the little hand, will also be moving counterclockwise. So you have to time this jump pretty well. Um, One thing that I would like to note here is that as you have changed gravity a decent amount of times, and the player character is still, oriented, with the camera angle up, so you're kind of looking at it at this angle. I wanted to mention, you'll notice the rest of the level has, parts kind of floating around in all different aspects. But right here, this is where you start, is down here, and the player character is now moving vertically through the map or through the level. So as you progress through this, you'll notice the player character here is now enjoying their time sitting on this gear and trying to avoid being knocked off. Again, these gears on the outside can be animated. They can be floating, they can be rotating, or they can be static. They're not there to interact with, they're just there to make things look pretty. So after the player character makes it past these two gears, they will jump and once again shift gravity slightly and come up to this part here. Now this part is one of the major branching areas. Again, here you can go left and get some bonus materials. There's a treasure chest over here. Or you can go ahead and hop on down into the tech branching elemental path. We'll go ahead and do the tech path here again at the end of this walkthrough. For now, though, we're going to assume we're continuing along the main path. The main path has 3 weights, grandfather clock weights here, moving up and down at timed intervals, which you'll have to time as the player character progresses along them. You'll see parts of the map, parts of the level that you'll actually be interacting with in the background here as you're doing this. Now, of course, you're going to be encountering enemies all along the way to keep this interesting. So while you're waiting for these, weights to rise and fall, you'll be encountering enemies, so you're not bored. Once a player character reaches the top, they'll go ahead and hop on over to the main pathway again. You'll notice that it quickly shifts gravity and rotates back up, so it's vertical again. If you look down at the rest of the level, this is you start over there in the top left, make your way all the way over here, and now you have a choice of 2 paths. Both paths are relatively the same, offering different enemies. The top path will offer an element that you can jump off down to the bottom path, and just provide an overall kind of a cool view of the almost end of the level, and the tech path is on the right-hand side there. That's the end of the level on the left-hand side there. Okay, so as you progress, the character will then end up at the end of the branching path where it once again converges, and there will be a gear in front of them that will prompt them to jump onto it. It's not going to ask them to, it's just going to be there, so that's the progression. When you jump onto this gear will wobble and fall, causing the player character to fall down to this main arena area here, where they'll encounter some more enemies and have to destroy another crystal growth. After they destroy that crystal growth, they'll hop onto these gears that are placed vertically. You'll notice that they're rotating now. This one would be in a counterclockwise motion, and this one would be a clockwise motion, causing the player to have to platform along the edges of this gear here. This could be challenging. They won't be moving very swiftly, but they will be moving fast enough that it'll be challenging for the player. And if they don't move fast enough, they can get smushed in here, or they can get knocked off. After that is complete, they'll go ahead and jump off of this platform here onto the main walkway again, where they'll be encountered with a very swift gravity change, and then 2 pendulums swinging that they'll have to time and jump over. And once they do that, they'll go ahead and make their way over to the other side, which has another gravity change and some more pendulums and weights. This again, you'll have some enemies as you progress up these weights. Once you reach the top of these weights, you'll notice some platforms, some gears moving very swiftly. This is the end of the level, so I wanted to make it a little more challenging. So the gaps are a little bit larger. You're going to have to double jump between these, most definitely, and they will be moving swiftly. This gear here is the last gear with a hand on it, or with the hands on them, and you'll notice that it's going to be turning clockwise. What I wanted to do in this one is make the small hand turn clockwise with the gear, and the large hand turned counterclockwise. That way it provides a little bit more challenging of an element for the player to platform here. After that, once the player successfully double jumps over to the last platform, they'll encounter some more enemies and the exit to the level, and everybody's happy. So that's the walkthrough of the main pathway, and you can see how the level progresses. Again, you start down at the bottom right there, make your way all the way up along this pathway here, and continue along, flipping around, and you'll finish actually upside down, although it won't look upside down while you're playing. Now, real quick, I'll go ahead and explain the magic elemental path. You'll use your magic Skylander to go ahead and break these crystals here, which will then twist you around and reorient gravity again. And this would be forward here. You'll have the option of moving along these gears, which will be moving relatively slowly, and hopping over and getting a treasure chest, all the while fighting some enemies, and then hopping down back into the main walkway, which will be the arena there. And that pretty much is the magic branching path, very quick and simple. And the tech branching path is very quick and simple as well. It's a little bit more platforming oriented. So let's go ahead and get our bearings here. This is the player character moving vertically. They'll end up coming across this platform here where they have to use their tech Skylander, which will cause these gears to roll out of the way. They'll encounter a very quick gravity change here, and the player character will end up faced with some more vertical gears. This is, of course, before the end vertical gears there. You'll see them in the background. These vertical gears will be moving relatively slowly, although they are small, so it will be a little bit more challenging to go ahead and jump across. The idea is you jump from this first one to this one to this one, doing a zigzag pattern, back to the pathway here. This pathway then allows you to jump over onto this gear and then this gear, and fighting some enemies, you'll be able to get this treasure chest and some more resources. You can jump back to the tech pathway. The player character will reach the edge and notice they have to jump down. They can make that with a real quick jump, maybe a double jump, and down here, and you'll be back on the main pathway to your victorious victory. So that's my submission for the Skylanders platforming level. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this walkthrough has been informative, and it gives you a better idea of how the level will work out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you again, and hope you have a great day.